All right. This is something that I wanted to share right quick with y'all that came to me while I was praying. So just give me a minute. I'm going to take and read the two scriptures I was told to read again before I take and get this. Do this, get on here and get off. Okay, we're in Isaiah chapter 6, verse 1 through 9. I'm going to read that. In the year that King Uzziah died, I saw also the Lord sitting up on a throne, high and lifted up, and his train filled the temple. Above it stood the seraphims. Each one had 6 wings. With twine he covered his face, and with twine he covered his feet, and with twine he did fly. And one cried unto another and said, Holy, holy, holy is the Lord of hosts. The whole earth is full of his glory. And the posts of the door moved at the voice of him that cried. And the house was filled with smoke. Then said I, Woe is me, for I am undone, because I am a man of unclean lips, and I dwell in the midst of a people of unclean lips. For my eyes have seen the King, the Lord of hosts. Then flew one of the cherubs unto me, having a live coal in his hand, which he had taken with the tongue from off the altar, and he laid it up on my mouth, and said, Lo, this has touched thy lips, and iniquities is taken away, and thy sins purged. Also I heard the voice of the Lord saying, Whom shall I send, and whom will go for us? Then said I, Here am I, send me. And he said, Go and tell these people, hear you indeed, but understand not, and see you indeed, but perceive not. Now you see how I was reading this, the whole time I was reading this, I was being attacked by the same 3 spirits that I've been being attacked for years, but it's been real bad this year for some reason. I mean, extremely bad. That's the spirit of Ra, the spirit of Ivan, and the spirit of divination. I mean, this morning they really been coming, since I got up. Okay, now we got to go to Ezekiel chapter 3, verse 1 to 5. Read that. Moreover, he said unto me, Son of man, eat that thou findest, eat this roll, and go and speak unto the house of Israel. So I opened my mouth, and he caused me to eat this roll. And he said unto me, Son of man, cause thy belly to eat and fill thy bowls with this roll that I give thee. Then did I eat it, and it was in my mouth as honey for sweetness. And he said unto me, Son of man, go get thee unto the house of Israel, and speak with my words unto them. For thou art not sent to a people of strange speech and of a hard language, but to the house of Israel. Okay, the 2 scriptures I was told to read. Now, this is what happened as I was praying. Okay, today's date is 4/26/2024, 3:03 p.m. As I prayed, that's the time I got to praying. Anyway, as I prayed, I seen many gold pyramids that was really houses inside. Now, the reason why I say that is because for years, God had been showing me in the spirit realm where there's actually a place that exists, where their houses built like mansions. These spirits live in them that we fight against, spirit of Ivan, spirit of Ra. So, I was allowed to take and go inside these pyramids that's in the spirit realm where these spirits are at. And when I went in there, Gilbert G. Patterson pulled me about it, but when I went in there, the first part of it that I went in, they was having orgies in the room. And when I first had the vision, I didn't understand it until I come to find out back in the biblical days, they used to have the priests and whatnot, and why the priests they had back then, while they was taking and doing their things, orgies would be going on, sexual orgies. But anyway, I ended up going through the pyramids. This is the first time it ever happened. And as I was going through them, in one room they was having orgy. In the other room, it was the spirit of Ivan, the spirit of Ra, and the spirit with the diamond-shaped head and white gown, which is a false light. They was inside the pyramid. And when they they seen that I was there, seeing them. You know, they started committing me, Bishop Gilbert G. Patterson, in reaching and pulling me out of that spirit realm. So anyway, I know that these that I was seeing was houses because of what I was shown many years ago. And there was a whole bunch of the pyramids that I was seeing today. So I know they was houses. So anyway, let me read this again. As I prayed, I seen many gold pyramids. There was really houses inside. Houses or temples. So we can say either one. They turned black, then started to dissolve into black mist. So that's let me know by them turning black and dissolving that, you know, God's judgment had even fell up on this place in the spirit realm where he's going to deal with this too. Because they turn black, then they dissolve into black mist. Anytime I see the black mist, I know that represents death, or the spirit of death. Okay. Anyway, I was then reminded about Isaiah chapter 19, verse 1 to 3. Now, let's go to Isaiah chapter 19, verse 1 to 3 and just read this so so y'all will be able to understand why I'm looking at it in that way. You know, Isaiah chapter 19, verse 1 to 3 reads, the burden of Egypt, behold, the Lord rideth upon a swift cloud, and shall come into Egypt, and the idols of Egypt shall be moved at his presence, and the heart of Egypt shall melt in the midst of it. And verse 2, and I will set the Egyptians against the Egyptians, and they shall fight everyone against his brother, and everyone against his neighbor, city against city, and kingdom against kingdom. Now, verse 3 is very important. And the spirit of Egypt. So God is making it known that Egypt had a spirit of its own. And he's letting the same thing be known about here too, okay? That there's a spirit in here that's leading this country and leading many people in this country that's not his spirit. You know, it's another spirit. He's letting it be known. So verse 3 said, and the spirit of Egypt shall fail in the midst thereof, and I will destroy the counsel thereof, and they shall seek to the idols and to the charmers and to them that have familiar spirits and to the wizards. Okay, so I was reminded about Isaiah chapter 19, verse 1 to 3. Okay, now as I continue to pray, I was told this country was like ancient Rome and Greece. I then was reminded about the way we celebrate athletes and other things in this country. I then seen the rider on the black horse with the sickle. He started to swing the sickle as he did this. The sickle started to spin like, opening up this black vortex that let some scorpions come through. I then was reminded about what I had been picking up about a person that wanted to do a mass shooting and how he had been looking at some of these events, even coming to some acting like he was protesting with the students to feel everything out because he wanted to do something where the death toll was high. As I continued to pray, I was reminded about the bear and the dragon, trying to see how close they could get to our coastline without being detected. This has been going on with me for about 2 years now. I was told to read Isaiah chapter 6, verse 1 and 9, which I did, and Ezekiel chapter 3, verse 1 to 5, which I did. Also warn about a big earthquake that will hit somewhere, okay? Now, at the same time I was being warned about a big earthquake, I was also being warned about another earthquake that was going to hit here. So it's actually two separate earthquakes, but one of them is going to be a big earthquake, a real big one. Now, this is something that's been coming to me a lot, and we know that this is something that God said would manifest a lot in the last days, according to Matthew chapter 24. But, according to what I'm picking up, this is going to be the year where we're going to see these things happen in a big way. Especially the weather thing. We looking at the stuff that's happening now. We think, you know what I mean, that's bad, and it's not. We're gonna start seeing some EF4s and EF5s hit the land, and they're gonna be worse than hurricanes. So we finna start seeing that. Finna start seeing other stuff in other countries and other lands. You know what I mean? Just like Matthew chapter 24 said. So anyway, that's what I had to give. So I'm finna get on off of here. Y'all have a blessed day. Love y'all and seek the Lord.